Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I've now moved from Gallup up to Farmington, New Mexico in the northwest corner. It's a pretty good sized town of a little under 50,000 and an elevation of about 5,500. And I think one of the most interesting things here is the Bolack Museum of Fish and Wildlife. It's one of the largest wildlife museums in the country, with about 2,500 samples of all kinds of stuffed animals. It is certainly the largest wildlife museum that I've ever seen. An amazing number of stuffed animals. It's as you go through it with a guide, and it just seems to never end. In many rooms and 2 floor levels. So come along with me on the tour, and we'll both take a look at it at the same time. And there's also some live animals roaming around on the grounds outside.
The Cape buffalo and the rhino are also at the height that he took them at. In the United States, chamois over here. This is a Saiga antelope. That nose is designed for cooling and heating in different seasons. They actually were alive prior to the Ice Age, survived through it, and they're still alive today on the steps of the Ural Mountains. These are all some of those small grassland animals along here. Try to get into some of the larger ones. These are the horns over on that door. He got to see it when it was complete with the taxidermist, but he didn't get to see it placed here in the museum. He passed away before the dedication. You can see what all the poachers do with the legs, the horns. The coyote is what we use to explain to the kids as to why we don't allow them to touch taxidermy.
What kind of giraffe is that?
It's just an African giraffe. It's a young one though.
That's some really long horns.
We can hunt these in New Mexico, down at White Sands and off installation off the actual White Sands missile range. The oryx are wild. If you hunt a full horn, where you have 2 actual horns, it's a once-in-a-lifetime hunt. If you get to hunt a broken horn, you can hunt that every time you're drawn. That canyon I was pointing to you, they're all through there. Texas Doll sheep here and here, New Zealand sheep there. And this is the stinky goat. I can smell him back there when we're coming up. 2 ibexes down there are crossed with goats. And this is a Barbary sheep. This was an actual pet to the ranch. This one and this one are crossed with a goat. Fallow deer. Here you can see the actual red deer over there. This is Rocky Mountain closest to us. Roosevelt's elk in the middle, and the Tool elk here.
And what are these?
Well, you got your water buffalo, of course, wild hogs from Texas, armadillos. You have the Eads deer in between the wild hogs. Hog deer here. Sika deer right here. Another water buffalo. Whitetail. Another Sika. This is axis deer. Black bucks back here in the back. Of course, from where you're from, you know about the bison, along with the young lady that was killed the day before. Each of these necklaces represent a young woman. They also found a set of men's teeth that hadn't decayed. Those little dweekers that were over there, those things, they hunt them with a shotgun. A black spotted leopard. Another pair of Sika deer. Another fallow deer. A white one and a spotted one. Reindeer here. This is the paired David deer. This is a roe deer, native to Australia. They had them here at one time on display, but they sent them out for repair and they haven't gotten them back yet. Possum. These are the wild cattle that Great Britain sent over with the inmates to Australia. Wallaby, dingoes. These are young dingoes, and they haven't quite learned that the wallaby is probably going to feed him his lunch, but he's acting like he wants to. Gray kangaroo and the red kangaroo, Australian water buffalo. Have the barking deer of Vietnam, the Sambra. Here's another axis deer. Some more black bucks. This is kind of a bucket list animal for me. I just like their horns. You have a sloth bear here and a Himalayan black bear. And there you have a dweeker again, but he has two sets of horns instead of one. Water buffalo. This is Asian water buffalo here. There's the nilgai and another water buffalo. That brings us into our Russian area. The Russian boar. These are widespread all around Europe, all into Russia, and down as far as Turkey. I was chased by one about that big in Germany when I was stationed over there. There's ibex in Turkmenistan, and because it is still part of the Russian Federation, we have to represent them. Russian elk, got some weasels right there.
Timber wolves.
Got the black phase, gray phase. Then you got your small female here. Polished them up. Somebody's moving the gold stuff. These are San Juan agates. They're found right here in the San Juan River all the way up to Pagosa Springs and above. And these have come down the rivers and tumbled and cracked. We found some in situ and collected them. Eggs. So they used to have an ostrich, 2 or 3 ostriches and about 6 or so of the emu. We have both bob white and Gambel's quail. Wood ducks, more wood ducks this year than any year that I can remember as a young man. Toucans and 2 hornbills down below. Bee eater here, and that's a roller right there. So I'll actually be flying her along and they'll just roll.
It's quite a colorful butterfly collection.
Oh yeah. And then up here are some of the fish that he's caught all over the world. That's the biggest brook trout up there I've ever seen. They spent about a month and a half in Australia catching fish. My bucket list fish are over here. 10 feet in length and 8,000 pounds in weight. Well, I fished for lingcod, but I never caught anything that big.
That's what the Great Barrier Reef looks like.
Yep. They packed a lot into it. But you're going to have a lot of fish that live on it also. There's a seaweed camp over here. That's not in the correct order.
I've never seen so many animals in a museum.
This is 70 years of hunting and fishing. They added the room over here, it's the Tommy room. Then they added this. Then they added the big one on that end. And they completed it in '98. Raccoon. It's another one of his favorite. And this is the Mountain of the Americas from above. This side is all the New Mexico.
Is this the largest wildlife museum in the country?
I'm not sure. I know it's the largest in the Southwest.
So your total animals, including the fish?
Yep, it's 2,500.
2,500. Wow. It's amazing.
The fin on the fish.
Well, that is a pretty amazing collection that they have here. What do you think, folks? Good day.